Welcome everybody to It Tastes Different Gaming News. What's in the news today? Justice League officially delayed to 2024 in February. That is a solid 8-month delay. It is, I wouldn't say it's super surprising, considering all the backlash, but originally I believe it was supposed to come out in May this year, and that is a hell of a push. They have been receiving quite a bit of backlash for the live service junk and many other things in the game. So as far as my opinion goes, I am not surprised, honestly. So before I get all in depth and all dirty with this story, I'm going to throw it over to Nick and find out what he thinks. Captain Boomerang, what do you think?
Good. It wasn't looking too hot before. This is Rocksteady, so we're expecting a decent game, but it looks like, your typical looter shooter, shoot the red light on the enemy and kill them type thing. And so, those games have come and gone and they tend to die out pretty quickly. So, is this to change how the game plays? I don't know. That may not, because in order for them to recreate, they would have to basically recreate the game from the ground up, in a sense, to really change it. But this might give them an opportunity. I think they said to do some quality of life fixes on the game or whatever, make sure it's the best product out there type thing. But this is a pretty long and lengthy delay. It's almost an entire year, right? So basically, I think I don't think they're going to change everything fundamentally as what the game is, but I think that they're going to try to make some changes to better present it to players, right? I think with all the feedback and everything that they got from their last trailers and the kind of showing the game off, that a lot of people were just not interested in that. And luckily for the developer or the publisher, who knows which one, probably the developer in this case, they looked at that and said, "Oh, this is not going to work, right? It's going to die out as quickly as Avengers, if we do this." And so it's unfortunate, but that probably would have been the case. So luckily, this delay is a good thing, depending on what they do with this delay, right? And how much they actually change the game. I think the game, I don't know. I think maybe it might be in Rocksteady's benefit to completely scrap and restart the game, because development takes a long time, so they're not going to be able to move away from what they have. All they can do is try to perfect what they have and make it more interesting and fun for players than what they presented. So, they got like almost a year to do that. Let's see what happens with that. But I don't know. What do you think about it?
I think this is the best move they could have made. Most people, and I believe you and myself are in the same boat. When they think of Rocksteady, they think of just solid games. May not be perfect, but there's never been anything like game breaking or make you want to crush your controller with their games. I think everything about this game has been screaming, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Between, the gameplay alone on the way it was working, to the always online, garbage, even with solo play, it's, this is not what people were expecting from Rocksteady. And granted, we don't need a Batman clone set with, these characters. We need a Suicide Squad game of its own set in the Batman world, just not with what they're doing. I made a reference to, shoot the little red things. It's, kind of reminds me of of God, the Xbox game that just let us down big time, and you just shot the orbs all over the place. Crackdown, kind of had that feel to it. That's not what I want. I do not want that in my Suicide Squad game. Suicide Squad characters. I mean, you got King Shark. What's his power? He eat people. What's his special power? He eat a lot of people. I mean, that's King Shark. Captain Boomerang. What's his special power? He throw a boomerang. Okay, he has special boomerangs, but he throws frickin' boomerangs. And Deadshot, he's the dude who has the guns. That's it. Harley can have a gun, but she better be swinging a hammer or a bat. That's it. I personally, when I looked at the gameplay, my very first thought was some, stockholders like, this is what we're wanting in here and we better get it. So then they'll be the death of the industry, my personal opinion, stockholders and businessmen of that nature. I'm glad they pushed it back. I think it's a good move, a solid move. You're right, though. It's not going to get rid of all the live elements. They might be able to get rid of the always on connectivity for the single player. I don't know how all that works. I am not a tech person, but I would like to see that go bye-bye. That would be nice. And do something with the gameplay, if at all possible. Make it a little bit more like what it's supposed to be and not this looter shooter garbage. So I think Rocksteady probably had to beg somebody for the delay to make the game right, because Warner Brothers owns the IP, that still hurts Rocksteady if it doesn't perform well. I mean, even if it's somebody else's decision, and that's not right. I mean, we've seen this happen to many games. Battlefield, for instance, used to be a fantastic series, and then, somebody making brilliant goddamn moves and probably shouldn't have. Just let developers do developer things. So, but I can't wait to see what it comes out with next February. Or next, January or March, April, May, June, possibly July next year, whatever they come out with the game. So I'm not really anticipating this being the last delay. It certainly wasn't the first, but this is the biggest delay. So let's see what happens. Nick, do you think they're going to be able to not correct, but change up enough of the issues to make gamers a little more satisfied without crashing the whole thing and restarting?
I think they're going to try as much as they can with that time period. But I mean, that's a lot of mechanics and changes to the game that would need to happen. So I think what they're probably going to end up doing is probably changing some mechanics, but really just trying to polish that turd as much as they can to, make it shine. These types of game is what you're exactly right. It's what the publishers and the stockholders and things like that. I mean, the problem is every game out there in this type of genre, the publishers, not the developers, I don't think in a lot of cases. There might be cases where that is the case, but the publishers and the higher ups are trying to chase this idea that has worked in the past, right? When looter shooters like this have come out a long time ago, they did work, but gamers are kind of beyond this. They don't want a repeat of something they've already played again and again and again. They want something new, but when they see something come out like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and they go, oh, awesome. And then they're presented with the same game they've played a million times, just, change the characters to Suicide Squad from whatever it was before. And we got the same game again. And it's like, no, we don't want that. Like we've done this, but the higher ups, I feel like, or somebody, stockholders, whoever it may be, they don't have their pulse on what I feel like what gamers want. They just have their pulse on what's going to make them the most money. What can they microtransaction the shit out of to get the most bang for their buck, right? And it's not about making, I mean, it is But in certain games, I almost feel like it's not about overall in the long scheme making money. It's like, how much money can we make out of the gate? And then from that point, who gives a crap, right? Let's make, a bunch of money on release or right out the gate. And then once we've made that money, whatever. It is what it is. We made our return. And it's like, and then, but the problem is with that, is the people, the powers that be, they make their money, but then the gamers lose confidence in the developer. So when the developer does release another product down the line, if they do the same thing again, gamers lose that confidence in the developer, and those sales start to reduce. And then the higher ups look at that developer and go, I don't think they're performing like they used to. I was like, well, no crap, they're not performing like they used to. You're not allowing them to create something that they want to create. You're just trying to make money. And, people it's not just gamers, but people are smart. They understand, they see this happening, right? And we see a lot of games doing stuff like this. And when we see that, we're like, yeah, no, moving on. We've seen several games like that. Look at Babylon's Fall. Like, that game, it could have been something, it could potentially be something good. It was platinum, but it was just like, they wanted this idea of an always on looter. That game wasn't shooting, but same thing. And it really fell short. And again, it's like one of those things that people have seen a million times, and only a certain small segment of developers can really knock it out of the park with something like that and be successful. But I think gamers in general are just getting bored of that same type of, it's kind of like the battle royale type thing, right? We've seen influx of battle royale games, and people just got tired of those. Now you have two, three, maybe 4 battle royales that do really well, and any other battle royale that tries to make their way in just never succeeds. So
yeah, it sucks. When you partner with a developer, the developers made their footing. They've created a base. They've done all of this. They didn't have you to screw it up before. They need you to stay out of their development, and you worry about your portion of it, and that's it. And if you do that, I think you make more money in the long run. And you're right. Some people see something that was done successfully somewhere else, and they're like, oh, we got to do that too. No, you don't. Crypto boy, you don't need to do all that crap. So stay out of my games, plain and simple. I think if they don't, we are, as gamers, we're screwed, because this is going to become more and more prevalent, and it's just going to bring the games industry to its knees. And we're already working that way with all the microtransactions, and loot boxes aren't as bad as they used to be, but they're still pretty nasty. And then crypto crap, they're going to shove in everything. It just saddens me. Saddens me. But this is a good thing that they are delaying it. And hopefully we get a more rock steady game instead of a Fortune 500 investors game. So with that being said, Nick, do you got anything else?
No, I just hope when it reemerges that it reemerges as a game that gamers want. What we were expecting, right?
Yes.
Because what we got, or what we saw, is not what we were expecting it to be. So
no, there isn't a whetstone on the planet that could polish that turd in 2 months to where we were wanting it to be. So luckily we got another 8 out of it. So, but all right. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please let us know what you think. Are you on board with the delay? Are you peed off by the delay? What do you think? Do you agree with us that developers should be left the hell alone and the bank guys need to just step off? Let us know. Put them in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to hit those notifications, the updates, all that good stuff down there. Make sure you subscribe. And if you got friends who like to listen to a couple nerds talk about games, tell them to hit that button too. And until next time, see ya.